Worse over the years, I would say.
Now it's a little different.
Kaizen, quick thoughts on which draft you're preferring here.
I prefer the TL draft. I think it plays perfectly into their early game focus strategy. You have the most powerful jungler in the game in Zinzao and LeBlanc in terms of mid-jungle prio. I mean, it pretty much doesn't get better than that. And as I mentioned before, Core JJ on the Thresh, constantly having the ability to roam and unlock his lanes, I think will give them the lead that they need.
Team Liquid and TSM both very aware of the stakes that are on the line here today. A Worlds qualification will be going to one side or the other. Let's find out who gets the leg up.
Everybody, it's here. It's time for another episode of the LCS playoffs, and we got TL versus TSM. After yesterday's series, I am expecting nothing but the very best here today. I am hoping for a full five. My name is Captain Flowers. Casting beside me, Mr. Isaac Azale Cummings-Bentley himself, the literal world champion, my friends. And you're already seeing some of the banter being thrown up on social media preceding the series today.
I love it. You gotta trash talk before the series. Not not after the series. That's weak. So these teams getting it in there. I love it. And I'm excited to see TSM coming out here, picking red side that is so atypical in NA. You know, most of the teams do prioritize blue side. And, you know, the AD didn't get a chance to talk about it. But to me, it's very clearly to set up for this top lane counter pick of the Aurelia. You know, it was going red side, looking for a solo lane counter pick. The Gnar was picked early. There were so many bans thrown towards top lane, but they do get the Aurelia here. They have Spica on the Lee Sin, so it's early power from the jungle. It is this aggressive matchup for Huni here, who wants to go right at Alphari, who I believe is the best laning player in the league, period. Not for top lane, just all over. This guy has been dominating lanes, so it is a bit of TSM throwing down the gauntlet. And in a best of five, it really can change the context of the series and the kind of outlook of this series. If Huni wins this lane, if he can get this counter pick and slam Alphari, well, the games going forward are so much different. And if he loses this with the red side choice, with the counter pick, TSM are going to have to go back to the drawing board and try to find a different way to really go at Team Liquid.
It's one of my favorite things that stands as a difference between best of one play and then series-based play, particularly for the longer one like a best of five, is just how impactful the ability to answer the... Oh, wait, hold on. Talking about answers, we got a little bit of damage, baby. We got first blood from Core JJ 2 minutes into this game.
I mean, Sword Art and Lost are contesting way too much against Thresh Varus. They have an insane level 1. It's Hail of Blades here as well on Tactical. And Sword Art was just taking so much damage there. If there's one weakness that people will point to for TSM, it has been the bot lane 2v2. Sword Art has been good at the roams, but Lost is not a strong laning player, and Sword Art and him have not been a strong duo in the 2v2. And this is just straight disrespect. You will not win this level 1 at all, especially with Hail of Blades on the Varus. They just have to kind of accept the fact that the wave is really out of their reach. TL is playing this so incredibly aggressive, trying to actually zone them off experience, and TSM trying to contest it. The Flay connects, the Ignite is there, Flash E auto comes through from Tactical. That is enough to get that tick of Ignite to actually grab the kill from Core JJ. And already they're off to the races. The only slight condolences there kind of for TSM is the fact that the first blood actually went to Core JJ. But still, it's looking rough already on the bottom side.
That's not a very good silver lining for the dark cloud that is dying level 1 there. Very unfortunate for the TSM bottom lane, and very well played by Core and Tactical. Remember, for all of our Spanish-speaking viewers, check out FlyQuest's Spanish co-stream over at twitch.tv/FlyQuest. Freak made the joke yesterday, hey, at least they made it to playoffs. I'm not going to be that mean to them because, honestly, FlyQuest does a lot of good stuff out there. I like their Spanish streams. I like their positivity on Twitter.
Okay.
Now, let's see if Spica can make it happen here in the top side. Alphari will be forced to flash away.
This is actually so big because look where the wave is, right? This is a wave that is going to freeze against Alphari. So now Xin needs to come up here and he needs a TP back and they need to fix the wave. Because if you just try to walk back to the wave and you don't actually TP, you're going to lose so much experience, so much gold there on the top side, and without your flash, it's incredibly difficult to do that. So that is why Santorin is heading up here. They are going to cover the reset of the wave, try to force Huni back, try to force him to actually match with his teleport. I don't think TSM will fight this, especially not with CoreJJ here, and this is just good play to cover Alphari, who's in a pretty difficult situation.
Yep, bringing up CoreJJ, looking to be the X factor here.
He's got to be careful.
As Huni's trading pretty aggressively with Alphari, but the thing is, now he doesn't have that defensive cooldown. Also, no mana left here in the tank, but he does have enough HP. It's still early on enough in the game. He can fall back to safety.
But if they actually delay his base, it's really bad. Sword Art and Speaker are here. So now he has to stay around, and TSM are going to have to try to defend the crashing wave with 3 members because they want Huni to be able to pick this up. It does mean that the experience is going to be shared, unfortunately, amongst those members, but Huni at the very least will be able to pick up the farm. He won't be able to stop the wave from crashing, and that's why he was trying to play it so aggressively. He was trying to put it into this awkward spot. Instead, Alphari, with the help of his team, proper coverage from Santorin and CoreJJ, he gets the crash, so he'll just take another recall there, go back to base, refill his resources, he grabs a refillable potion, grabs boots.
And now he doesn't mind walking back, right? Now
exactly.
It's fine. Now there's not all that pressure just built up in the lane. Huni will now use his TP to get back into that lane, so he'll be first to the wave. He'll continue to have that priority. Remember, he does have a slight EXP lead here in the current state of things. And you can see Lost is just doing what he can, farming up here. One of the power points of Ziggs, the champion's got a lot of power points, but his autonomy and wave clearing is a big one.
It absolutely is. The scary part is when the wave is pushing away from you because you're pretty susceptible to getting wrapped around on. You know, if the Thresh comes behind you, you are in trouble. Lost getting put low, but has farmed well despite, you know, his support going down. It wasn't a kill on the tactical, it was just the assist, and he'll be able to TP back to actually catch this wave. We'll see if he has Lost Chapter gold. Doesn't look like it, so you'd always love to be able to hang around in lane longer to really get Lost Chapter. Once you have that mana, you can start to feel comfortable.
Right.
But you can see the respect that he's actually paying this, TPing back further, because he knows if he TPs to that tower and he gets hooked on arrival, you'll just get straight up.
Yeah, you're just dead, right? Then you wasted a summoner spell to give them money. Very unfortunate stuff.
That's a terrible summoner spell.
Yeah, we don't want to use that
cooldown. Gives your opponents 300 gold.
Pretty bad stuff right there. You can see here some cool stats on the side of the screen, though. Power of Evil, 24 and 15 on Azir. Overall, I don't know what that percent is off the top of my head, but I know that Jensen is 20 and 4, and that is also some other percent that's even bigger.
It is.
Yep.
Yes.
So
true.
2 very impressive numbers here on our screen right now as TSM is moving topside looking for the dive. Perhaps Sword Art is just level 3 here on the Leona. Yeah. Doesn't look like we're going to go through with this.
It looks like inaction, but it's because of proper response. So you have to give credit to TL. If Santorin is not there, Alphari just dies under the tower 1v3 with no flash available. But they have been covering him. It was a good early gank from Spica, actually forced the flash, but since that flash has been forced, CoreJJ as well as Santorin move up. They cover the crash, allow Alphari to reset. Then on the attempted redive here from TSM, again, he is covered by his jungler. And this is both teams looking to play around what they know their opponents want to get done here. And Huni, you know, will move aggressively, hits the E, but it's not going to be enough to actually fully commit to the dive. He is level 6 to level 5 right now, and it is Mininar, so this is kind of a dangerous time for Alphari. But with the wave pushing towards him, and Spica going back to base, Alphari should be fine to just farm this up under his tower, hit level 6.
Yeah, the EXP is a big thing I'm noticing right now with both top and jungle, because you can see it's actually Spica that hits level 6 before Alphari, the enemy solo laner, does. Santorin's still here at level 5. That smite fight over the blue buff did go the way of Spica, so grabbing a lot of extra gold EXP along with that buff. But not a whole lot of action to speak of here 8 minutes into the game because of those proper responses from both teams.
Draw your eyes to how defensive this build is from Power of Evil. It's all about survival here. Verdant Barrier, I believe, plus the Merc Treads. So super defensive build here. Lots of MR. The CC reduction as well, knowing the roams could come through from CoreJJ. And wanting to stay safe against Jensen. Very clearly with this build, your goal is not to fight. Your goal is to just fight the minions and absorb the pressure that's going to come in here from Jensen. Right. This speaks to wanting to scale. This speaks to wanting to be stable, utilizing the Azir as well as the Ziggs for an enormous amount of wave clear. It's very rare that you would have 2 control mages like this on the same composition these days. So it's going to be largely about buying time with Power of Evil, with Lost, for Huni. And that puts a lot of pressure on Huni as this one kind of X factor who's supposed to create advantages, who's supposed to create pressure on the map, while everyone else just withstands the pressure that TL is going to be putting on.
Well, hey, there is a lot of pressure up in this top lane on Alfari. He is down 30 farm in the current state of things. TSM with a 4-man rotation up into the top side. His Power of Evil goes for the shuffle, but it's Core JJ with the flash to safety.
Always good trade, though. Quick roam, force out the flash. Jensen moving over here. I don't know that they're going to fully commit to this. With Power of Evil showing mid lane, maybe they poke and prod forward, but it's going to be too little too late. So TSM should be able to back it up, and we'll have to see how much damage Tactical is getting done on that bottom side, because he has been pushing in the 1v1. He's going to be trying to threaten this Ziggs. You know, he has the Vamp Scepter here early on. Will likely be working towards an Eclipse, I would assume, with that early Vamp Scepter, and trying to shrug off the poke here from Lost, attack his mana, try to force him to take damage on the tower or take bases at poor times. But thus far, it's been a pretty even farm lane down there with both supports roaming around, and really all the action has been focused on this top lane. And it's kind of similar to when TL played Cloud9 as well. We had that one game where Core JJ had 0% duo procs.
Yeah, that one.
It was almost none for Vulcan as well. This time, though, it's kind of the shoe is on the other foot. It feels like it's been mostly Sword Art dictating the pace, and Core JJ being forced to actually match to cover his top laner.
Well, right now, we're still only at 1 kill, 10.5 minutes into this game. In terms of objectives, TSM is going for the first one of those here as well. This is the Rift Herald first objective taken on the map, considering that Ocean Drake has been live this entire time. No team showing a lot of interest in it here, instead prioritizing early gold. Okay, Rift Herald picked up, eyeball secured. Core JJ throws out the hook, but it leads a little bit too far forward. Jensen jumps in for a little bit of damage, chains on the Power of Evil, roots him up. The follow-up is not there. Core JJ with that death sentence on cooldown from where it missed earlier means Power of Evil walks away.
Yeah, Power of Evil, super tanky build, doesn't panic flash. He didn't have the ulti, so just knew he could stay calm. Abilities were on cooldown. He was going to be able to survive and just walk it out. But yeah, I mean, the Dragon has been ignored because it's been all about getting this Aurelia ahead and all about, for the TL side, minimizing loss on the top side. But now, oh, Core JJ's behind him.
Okay, death sentence misses. Core JJ thought he would backstep a little bit, and Lost just kept running home.
That's one of those things, man. You gotta guess which way they are going to go. Lost makes the read, continues moving forward there, does stay alive, and it will be Tactical push back to base here. Santorin is around to try to protect this. I don't know that they're really going to be able to get much of anything, as Lost likely will have to back it up, but they're going to actually bring the Herald to this lane, try to pressure forward, try to get this relatively low, because you know Herald plus Ziggs can equal a tower.
Oh, it's so good.
You get it low, you execute with the satchel. It's not going to be a W max second, it is just E, so you will have to get it quite low to be able to do it, but Speak at the very least trying to help cover the Ziggs on the push here, and will utilize this pressure to take a Dragon.
Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to see a whole lot of a contest here. You even saw the exclamation mark ping come out from TL. They're saying, all right, don't worry about this. Nobody go risk anything. It's not really that much of a big deal at this point in time. So TSM will grab themselves that objective. First Drake of the game, Ocean. Second one's going to be Infernal, so it will be either an Earth or a Cloud Rift here 5 minutes from now. Team Liquid, though, still having about just near 1,000 gold lead. You can see that Eclipse will be our first mythic item completed in this game. That Varus for Tactical on his way to becoming that very powerful mid-game piece that a lot of teams want to fight around.
Exactly. It'll be interesting to see how TL wants to utilize him and how they want to do lane assignments with Jensen. Because Jensen's going to have his Mythic completed massively earlier than Power of Evil, who's gone for the Tier, the Verdant Barrier, the Merc Treads, all these kind of pit stops, the Dark Seal, the Corrupting Potion, like so much towards laning and just kind of survival.
Yeah.
So you don't really want Jensen just stuck in this lane against this guy who's stacking MR. You want him out to a side lane trying to pressure. So I do think that soon enough they might move Varus towards mid lane, have him laning against the Azir, put the LeBlanc in the side lane against Ziggs, and really try to get some pressure going. Okay. As soon as that Mythic is complete for Jensen, you want him active on the map, because the last thing you want with LeBlanc on your team is him AFK farming against an Azir.
Yeah, especially in Azir that you just saw some of the damage potential back when we had the camera on mid lane and we saw the trade. LeBlanc jumps in, spell, combo, and it takes off 20% of his health and he just walks away. So LeBlanc players, that is not the gameplay fantasy of the champion when you lock that in and go into the game.
Are you sure?
That's not what LeBlanc players are queuing up for. Gore Drinker done now here for Santorin, so a little bit of extra survivability and burst power in those team fights here for that powerful jungler. And honestly, the pace of this game is a bit surprising for me just because of what both of these jungle champions are. I would expect it to be bloodier after 14 minutes.
And I think it's not because people aren't trying, but because both teams are responding properly to the attempts, right? We've seen multiple looks towards the top side where both teams have covered. We have seen proper roams from the supports, getting vision, sweeping out enemy vision. And it's very difficult to make these effective plays happen when the other team is always there to just stop you in your tracks. And we can see how defensively Alphari is having to not only play this, but build this.
Yeah.
He got himself a Phage, but it's the Bramble Vest and Tabby super early on. Lee Sin plus Aurelia, it's going to be effective against both, but it means his Mythic is very delayed. Sword Art up here again. I think he will be spotted by the Pixel Brush, so Alphari is just moving back. Very likely this ward in the river would have spotted him on that roam. So again, it's in action because of proper defensive play. TL has it warded out, has it covered, and they're looking for a counterplay on the bot side. Lost is looking pretty dead.
Yeah, Lost already lost half his HP there to Tactical's combo, and it's enough for Santorin to finish the job. TL with a 2-0 lead, but it will be TSM taking first turret of the game.
So, not a bad trade. We'll see how much tower damage TL gets. They are going to be resetting here and trying to move up towards that top side, very likely. Huni getting so much gold. You can see Alphari, above the supports, but that's about it. Whereas Huni is the richest.
That's all he's got.
He's the richest in the game. So, that 1v1 is not going to look good. The game will not be about Alphari. And so there's going to be pressure elsewhere on the map to carry. Alphari is going to have to play this supportive role, going to have to look for playmaking in the 5v5. And your laning experience is, I'm trying not to die.
Yeah, and this goes back to what you pointed out at the very beginning when we first loaded into the Rift. This is why TSM picked red. This is the counter pick in top lane to play around Huni and enable this champion and support him. So they're sticking to the game plan. They know what their guns are and they're ready to shoot them. We just got to see if they're firing blanks or not, because we've all seen Huni's highs.
Nerf gun or bazooka.
And we've all seen Huni's lows.
That's true.
So
they
here's hoping.
Pretty separate.
Playoff Huni is in effect, or at least all the TSM fans are hoping for that, because a lot has been put in his hands here in this early game. Down here in the bottom lane, they're looking to make the dive. Bit of damage coming through, but is it enough? Doesn't look like it. Jensen stays alive and he flashes back forward. He wants to make sure Power of Evil is dead. He will get his wish, but he'll die doing it.
Yeah, they do get the kill. It is a trade, so Alphari getting a little bit of gold off that TP. Nicely done by him. Again, as soon as Jensen completed that Mythic, as expected, he went out to the side. But to circumvent this LeBlanc versus Ziggs matchup, they've just moved Lost mid to match Tactical. Sword Art getting dove.
Sword Art just gets deleted. Santorin's got the power there to make the turret dive happen. Core JJ stepping back outside of the sweet spot on the ulti, lowers the damage enough to live. Huni's ready to go. He has his flash. He could just flash the wall and go crazy if he wants. Let's see. No.
No, not going to be able to make it happen.
Nope,
he got slowed immediately on TP, and then that was actually, it looked like an invisible box.
Yeah, it was the box. You can see it's on cooldown on the left.
So stepping through the box, gets slowed by the boomerang, is on arrival. Ben has to walk through the box. If that boomerang was timed incorrectly, I do think we see an alt flash and likely a double kill, because Santorin and Core JJ both had no flash and were down about 20% HP. So important timing. Speaking though, forcing the flash out here.
Yeah,
this is the second Herald of the game early, and that's likely going to be the tower dead with Ziggs here in position, no plates available. He's already prepping that W.
Yep, with the satchel already in place. Boom! Even though Shelly can't kill it on her own, Ziggs and Shelly are just best friends here in the early game on Summoner's Rift. So Tactical cannot defend the tier 1 turret there in mid. TSM with a 2-0 turret lead. That's making up for a lot of the gold difference in the kill advantage that TL has found for themselves. So 4-1 there in kills, 0-2 in turrets means a game that's not even 600 gold apart. But TSM has now stacked their second Drake. Cloud Soul this time around, if they can get 2 more of those. Up here on the top side, Jensen will be crashing the wave into the turret as Power of Evil has Sword Art right behind him just in case a dive is coming.
Now, while I don't think Cloud is what they were hoping for, Cloud Soul, when you are playing these heavily split push games, especially melee versus range, can be really nice for the chase down. If you do get Gnar in an extended lane as the Aurelia, you pop the ulti, you get that move speed. So yeah, that was just a boomerang slow, steps through the box, just showing that. So It wasn't a bug on the player side. It was just a spectator thing where I think with the toggled vision, we couldn't see that as he walked through. But either way, TSM keeping it very close as far as the gold lead goes. They do have just a 600, or I guess about 800 gold lead now for the XTX gold advantage on the TL side, but TSM have 2 dragons, so they'll be working towards that soul and trying to utilize that in the side lane for Huni, that additional move speed to really stick to this Gnar and not allow him to get away.
Well, at least for Alphari, Divine Sunder is up and running. You already mentioned how the lane difficulties coupled with the fact that that snowballs on itself and makes you have to build more defensively meant that was going to be a way away. Well, hey, we're there now. At least he's got that up and running, right? A little bit of a power spike on that. But looking back over at TSM, we've also got both those Leandries running for the 2 mages that are available here. And there is so much AoE, so much wave clear between these 2 champs as the game scales forward. That's one thing that I always look at in any Ziggs game. The team that's up against the Ziggs, you better have damn good Baron use because otherwise you're playing League of Legends against Ziggs trying to push.
Well, and it's tough because it's not even just Ziggs. It's Ziggs and Azir, and TSM have the side lane advantage here with Huni, which is why it's somewhat interesting, I think, that Huni isn't actually building for that 1v1. You know, grabbing another Phage here is likely going to be Sterix, so it's more the team fight setup instead of something like the Blade of the Rune King. Or even the Wit's End, you know, it's more likely those on
you just want to see
builds.
like the Bork, dive onto the guy, kill one dude, specialize in the side lane role type of build.
I think if you're going to commit to the side lane, but this to me says that TSM says we're not going to be able to get enough of an advantage in side lane. It's about creating an advantage in side lane, then taking it to the 5v5.
Okay, well, we got a crazy fight here from the bottom side. Alphari's going to get jumped on there as Huni's going in, but now they're switching the attention over to Core JJ, and the man's already down. Santorin's in the middle of 5, but he's got to get away somehow. Gets kicked back the other direction, and Jensen's made his way into the fight. Health bars are dropping here on both sides.
Oh, Huni wants more.
Huni's going in, but he's slammed into the wall. Here's Alphari. Jensen keeps on looking, but now he's got to back on out. Spica and Lost continuing throwing out a couple of projectiles. Alphari's nearly dead, but nearly is not enough. TSM continue just trying to shove this wave out, buy themselves the time to get away. It'll be 3 kills for TL, 2 for TSM.
Oh, that was such a close fight there. Huni just barely not able to actually connect with the E, with the stun on Alphari. At the very end of that, Alphari with the sidestep meant he went Mega. He gets the Mega Gnar out. The initial play here from Huni, moving aggressively forward. The first pick comes onto Core JJ, who just gets locked down by a great ultimate there from Sword Art, be able to burst him down while Spica is kiting back and the TPs do arrive. Santorin, no flash available. The scoop in here from Power of Evil is good, but Jensen got so much damage down with the double distortion forward, chains up and locks down the Azir for Tactical, who's able to snipe him out. Then, as Alphari comes in here, he sidesteps the stun from Huni, able to get the Mega Gnar off on Huni, means Huni goes down. You know, that would have been a kill on Alphari before he could Mega out instead, which could really change the fight. Maybe Huni's able to go forward and actually continue to get even more done there. But Alphari survives, Huni goes down, tons of damage coming out from him, though, in that fight. And honestly, impressed by the amount that Santorin got done.
That's what I was surprised by. 3,600 damage from the Xin Zhao in the middle of everybody. Yes, you would expect the Irelia that's been given all this attention and all these resources to top damage charts. Otherwise, you've got a problem. Yeah. But looking at Xin Zhao, you're like, wait a second. This wasn't a bloody early game where he's got 5 kills out of nowhere.
I mean, he got Azir ulted into the team and topped the damage.
He's just... Holy cow, that is the kind of performance Santorin needs to be putting on here for TL to get a dub in this game. 1,500 gold lead. Tactical's pushing things up here in mid. Team Liquid still without a single turret to their names. Trying to play this objective game a little bit. Jensen jumps in, Lost in some trouble, but Jensen is too far forward, and TSM sits him down.
Jensen seeing that juicy Ziggs. That was the kind of damage you're looking for as one of those LeBlanc players, but didn't realize how many members were behind him. You know, you might expect 1, you might expect 2, but there was 4 members from TSM mid there covering their Ziggs. The CC chain comes through on a Jensen. He gets absolutely knocked off the map. And with him dead, this means a 3rd straight Dragon likely going over here to TSM. We'll see if they want to try to go for a flashed in, lantern out for the steal play. They look like they're setting up for it, but is it worth the risk here?
Okay, hook comes out. Nope, that ain't gonna happen. But at least it saves the flash. The hook onto the enemy player allows audacious charge. Now we don't spend a 5-minute summoner spell.
Yeah, that was well played, I think, by both sides, honestly. You know, Spica securing the smite, but as you say, it was not a costly attempt at the steal from TL. So he goes over, he lanterns back. Both sides kind of play it right, and TSM, who had the man advantage, end up coming up on top, as they should. But it does mean that they are now at soul point. You know, the Mountain Soul would have been better for them in this situation, trying to stay alive against some of these bursty champions. The poke coming through from Jensen and Tactical, but you don't get to choose what you get. And they'll have to make do with this and try to see how much they can get done with that potential Cloud Soul in a side lane if they are able to get it.
All right, so let me ask you this, Isaac. Let me put you on the spot here a little bit. Is this 200 IQ or is this just Mega Papega? You just give it over. You just let him have the Cloud Soul, so now there's Elder to fight for, and you don't have to be stuck in that situation of low reward, high risk. Just get rid of it. Bye-bye Cloud Dragons, Elder Drake for the rest of the game.
So I think the question becomes, do you think you can win the 5v5 for that Elder, right? Because if you just give it over and you can't play for the Elder either, then it's definitely Mega Papega.
Then it feels
so,
bad.
you know, then it's like, you've got the Elder Dragon to fight for now. And they're like, yeah, we'll take this too. So I think it really kind of depends. You know, I think they're going to contest. Whether or not they will try to trade something else for it. You know, to your point, hey, if you're not that worried about Cloud Soul, maybe try to trade it for Baron and try to set up those sorts of plays. But they've become very difficult as teams have gotten pretty adept at defending that.
Jensen flashes away, trying to survive the attempt on his life from TSM. Another distortion to gain some further distance. Spica keeps on chasing. Sonic Wave, Resonating Strike, no energy left. They brought in Huni too. The entire cavalry has arrived, and Jensen will finally die. They give the kill over to Power of Evil.
The problem for TL is there was nothing on the map for them to really take, so they're pushing up mid lane. They will try to take this tower. I like this kind of line of defense they're setting up here with Santorin and CoreJJ, trying to poke people out, keep them away. Ziggs will wave clear some, but at the very least...
health. That's one button. The dude pressed one
button. It's a good button. It's about the quality of buttons, not the quantity of buttons, you know?
As someone who plays Skarner,
that's a Gucci
never
button right
understood that. I press Q 900 times per game.
And what does more? You're ulti. Quality button right there.
All right, quality buttons versus quantity buttons. Well, hey, we've got some items stacking up here in this game. That tier of Power of Evil, almost full stacks. Muramana for Tactical, that one's fully stacked. That's fully evolved. That's always a huge power spike pretty much whenever you see a champion having that item completed. Sterix Gauge, the top part of both teams. 4 out of 10 champions have Sterix Gauge ready to go. So survivability in the team fights is now through the roof.
Yes,
the ability to bait, the ability to outplay and know your limits for all 4 of these guys is going to be very big here.
I think one of the scary things here for TL is that Power of Evil, he went this early defensive build. He's now kind of past that power trough because he's on 2 completed items and they are not defensive ones.
No.
He has the Void Staff, he has the Leandries, his tier's almost fully stacked, so likely going to be building that up next. Huni also went for this more kind of tanky build, but he's going to be moving towards the Wit's End as his next item as well. So moving into more of these luxury items, trying to really kind of shore up their offense as the defense is really good to go for everyone except Ziggs. And it's going to be about keeping Lost safe and him positioning well because he is so squishy. He is so clearly the target for TL.
Oh, yeah.
That if you're cut out, you can instantly die to LeBlanc. You could get poked out and burst out by Tactical. Even Santorin can knock you down. Everyone else is pretty tough to knock down right now on TSM.
So also, third item, non-boots item, I guess I'll whatever, that's what I was saying. Anyway, let's hold on. We got ourselves another fight here. Tactical takes a whole lot of damage there from the bomb, but they're able to disengage. What I was going for, Serpent's Fang in Tactical's inventory. Yep. He's recognizing the Sterix. He's recognizing the Locket of the Iron Solari. Now remember that the item does only have 35% of its 35% of shields being reduced instead of 50 because he is a ranged champion. But that can still go quite a long way when you're dealing with a shield that procs for 1,000.
Absolutely. And I mean, Safeguard's going to be spammed out between these fights as well. You know, Lee Sin shield's going up there. It is high value, and it's a decently efficient item, even without the shield reduction. So, you know, grabbing lethality there makes sense here, I think, in this situation. Multiple members here from TSM coming mid. They're looking for a play.
Okay, Spica with a kick. They're going after Tactical, but they can't quite get him. Sword Art now stuck in the middle of 3 with the rest of TSM, unable to jump into the fight. They don't want to put anybody at risk, so instead, Sword Art will be the sacrifice. Jensen picks up the kill, and it's 8 seconds until the Drake. That was a critical pick before the Soul.
And a costly mistake from Power of Evil. I think he flashed into the wall there and ulted. He was trying to get over the wall to actually scoop in Tactical.
Oh, no.
And with his flash on cooldown, with his ult where it was, that looks like a fail play from him, which means instead of them getting a pick and getting their soul, they are delayed on it. We'll have to watch him one more time. So he's up on this top side right around here. Power of Evil, I do believe, is trying to flash over the wall and follow this up. He's not against the wall right now, though, yet.
Oh, yes!
You gotta be hugging that wall to make that flash happen, and a critical misstep there from Power of Evil. He's so good in these late game positioning, in the 5v5s. He has a costly misstep there, though. Was not positioned against the wall when he went for the flash. Ends up meaning Tactical gets away. They lose Sword Art. TL delays the soul here, and now they're up gold. The soul has been pushed back, and they're getting themselves into a better and better position in this game.
Yeah, those are the ones that haunt you at night. It's one of the universal rules, I think, just in like the typical League of Legends experience for anybody, not just pro. When you're having a very close game, it doesn't matter if you've been the guy who's been doing everything right so far, or you've had the most pop-off plays, or you've got all the kills, because one mistake can weigh more than 10 good plays if it's at the wrong time.
Exactly. I mean, they're all not built equally, right? You know, we kind of joked about quality buttons, quantity buttons. I mean, it's a similar thing here with the plays, right? If you make an error around the Baron, if you give over something like a Baron, even if you have made a bunch of small incremental advantages happen, you can give away more with that one big mistake. We've all felt that playing League. You know, you get the Baron stolen from you, you throw with a lead, and those plays hurt. And they have got to collect themselves mentally, prepare for the next Dragon here, and tighten it up a bit, because TSM want to grab that soul. They've been working towards it for 30 minutes, and they've got to grab the reward.
Now, the nice part is, it's not like, you know, they lost an inhibitor, their base got cracked open, Baron was just completely given over to Team Liquid for free. It's not that egregious of a mistake, but it is some things that they should have had that now we're still waiting for. 3 minutes from now will be when that Drake spawns. TSM again looking to make some sort of play here in the top side jungle. Power of Evil will be the one shoving out the wave, while Spica and Sword Art are both here in the shadows, making sure that this is done properly. Jensen will just back on up. Doesn't want to lose his Banshee's Veil unless he absolutely has to, so keeping a good amount of distance from those soldiers. Core JJ is here. Jensen jumps in for a little bit of damage onto PoE. Takes about half his health. Santorin and Tactical also coming in here on the flank. Santorin just trying to make sure he's staying in range there with a sweeper for Tactical to clear out the wards. And now that the Team Liquid Cavalry has arrived, TSM does need to be a bit more careful.
Absolutely. They've got to back it up here. Santorin will be spotted. They've got to continue running, though. Power of Evil getting poked down to about half. So if he gets caught at this point, it's going to be rough. And I mean, TL are on the chase. Alfari is here as well. They're so far out on the map.
I mean, Huni can teleport to this. Let's see if they end up trying to defend. Okay, Power of Evil with the turret. So at least they got something to hide underneath. Lost is waddling up here. Huni's still in the bottom lane. Alfari going forward. Sword Art might be going down. A lot of damage down on the TSM support, but they won't be able to kill him. Meanwhile, Huni's grabbing a tier 2 in the bottom lane. It's working out well for TSM.
So that Engage looks really funny, but it's actually really smart from Sword Art. He is going in to create space here so his teammates can walk out above safely. If he does not go forward there, they engage onto Power of Evil, who is in more danger. Not only does it buy time for his teammates to walk out, it buys time for Huni to take the tier 2 on that bot side. So yes, it costs Sword Art his flash, his ulti. He puts himself in a dangerous spot, but it is to the benefit of his team. And that is support play.
That's support play right there. Being able to recognize what is the greater good of the team and play around it properly. Good stuff for Sword Art. TSM still keeping this game pretty close. 2,000 is the amount of gold that Team Liquid has had ahead of them, and it's been that way for quite a while, so it's not like that's ballooning super high.
Some big buys just happened. Death Cap, both just purchased. That was a full Death Cap that they just bought.
And now you're in a world where you've got to try to somehow continue pushing against Ziggs or Azir, or hold on, maybe we should try the Baron. Oh wait, we can't, because it's Ziggs and Azir, they both have a death cap.
That's
the
scary,
choices are being choked, Mr. Azael.
And even if you get the Baron, the wave clear is so powerful. You know, when you do have these AP carries, these control mages, they can clear out Baron minions. So we'll see what TL wants to get done here. Huni has been bought so much time for his team. He was given resources early. Really, they have not gotten paid back for that yet. He is still in a pretty strong spot. Completes the Wit's End, is going towards the GA next. We'll see where TSM wants to fight. I think it's just going to have to be this 5v5. We'll see if they want to try to go for the soul, or if they're just going to give this up and try to take the tier 2 top.
Yeah, the tier 2 top is rather low already. Huni's up there, keeping that one pushed. Now down here, We got Team Liquid with the 4-man squad. Jensen is up a little bit higher. He's ready to flank if needed. Lost is teleported down to join the other members of TSM. Huni doing the push there in top side. Takes the tier 2 and he backs away. Not pushing any further just yet. Team Liquid are onto the Drake. They're making the catch. They've already got Lost. He's out of the picture. And Alfari's going in for more. Sword Art's going to be your next target. Huni decides to teleport in and join the fight. It'll be a 4v5 here in the bottom lane as TSM are running towards the Team Liquid base. Can they reach a turret ruin? I don't even believe Power of Evil has the cooldown on his turret ready to summon. Santorin's going in. He goes for the crescent sweep, and Huni fires off the ulti, and he doesn't hit a damn thing. Huni sends it into Timbuktu, and TSM will not have a prayer. Huni finds nothing, and they're all eviscerated except for Spica. Team Liquid marches to Baron.
Team Liquid have withstood the storm. They get the kills. They're gonna take the Baron all off this pick. Lost separated himself from the rest of the team there. It was a 4-man squad from TSM, but he face checks the brush towards the dragon when they're not even gonna contest the dragon there. Lost gives over a freebie, and everyone on TSM pays the price for it. It's now up to Spica, trying to see if he can get a miracle steal here, but this is going down so fast.
All right, Spica. It's unlikely. Okay, it's impossible. Alfari's completely running interference here. Does not want to allow him into the picture. The chain CC coming down. They will remove him from the equation. Baron is smoked. And Team Liquid 13-5. 5,000 FTX gold advantage now. This is a team that is set to break some bones in the TSM base.
Yeah, they're looking like they're in such a great spot. And it's all about Lost here. You just got to keep your eyes on Lost, where he is going. The rest of the team is heading down here. He's heading up here by himself. Gets absolutely destroyed by Jensen and Core JJ. We talked about it earlier. You are the guy who is not building any defensives. You are the guy without the self-peel.
You're the glass cannon.
Exactly. You have got to be behind the squad. When he goes down, Huni decides he's got a TP here because he's trying to defend the rest of the team. Yes, Huni does miss on the ult in this position, but let's be honest, it's so difficult to actually fight your way out of this 4v5. Jensen on the sidestep from the ulti there. Huni not able to connect, and without him going nuts in the fight, there's really not much going on. The hook lands on Power of Evil. He's gone. It's not even close. Huni almost takes down Alfari, but they were going to get all wiped regardless. And TSM have just made some critical mistakes at important times. The fail flash from Power of Evil over by that initial take from the Soul. They fail there. Then Lost gets picked off in the bot lane here, delaying the Soul, giving over the Baron, and TL have created their first significant advantage of the game. They're up 6K now. They're in the driver's seat. Let's see if they can hammer it home, because TSM does have incredible wave clear, so they can hang on and delay.
We've got a minute and a half left on Baron. So let's see if Team Liquid can reach that base. They can breach those walls. Now, right now, Spica wants to hang out, see if maybe there's a kick to be made, right? Just one pick during a Baron push can stall for so long. It's not like your opponents can just brute force things in a 4v5. But Team Liquid will not give them the opportunity to do that. Tactical also doing a good job. He's hiding in the brush, firing off the arrows whenever he can, does not want to present himself as a viable target because he knows, similar to Lost, he's going to be the one they're looking for. Spica getting caught out a bit here by Santorin, just getting his butt whooped, not even close in that fight, as now Sword Art will be forced to flash away to try to stay alive. Team Liquid doesn't want to overcommit for that when they almost kill him off with a piercing arrow, and Jensen goes on a rampage, 4v5 for the next 40 seconds.
Jensen gets the earlier pick on Lutz, gets another pick here on Sword Art, and now down a member, pushing in waves across the map here, TL. Even getting the flash off Lost. They are closing the trap here on TSM. They're pushing in on all sides. They're going to knock down at least one inhibitor here, if not two.
It's looking pretty dire for TSM 38 minutes into this game. Inhibitor number 1 is down. Inhibitor number 2 still has its turret standing, but not by much. With Baron about to expire, Team Liquid's recognizing, hey, the push is pretty much over. That's Ziggs and Azir without Baron now. Let's go back and spend the money.
And I've got to say, this is honestly classic TL at their best. They are often a team that withstands the onslaught, that depends upon playing more clean League of Legends, punishing opponents' mistakes. They are willing to play the game slowly because they have such confidence in their setup, such confidence in their ability to execute in these difficult situations. They gave up the early dragons, but they have been steadfast. They never gave up the soul. They have been the ones to find the picks, to make the plays when it mattered in the later stages. And now as a result, they have taken full control of this game. Nearly 9K ahead. They are cruising, and we'll have to see if they can close it out.
And you saw right there how easy it is to not even need to get a kill. Jensen's just jumping in like this. Anybody that he finds, boom, pop, pow, comic book noises everywhere, and he's getting 2/3, 3/4 of your health bar. Doesn't matter if you're not dead. You're going back to base, and Team Liquid get to do whatever they want.
Absolutely. And you wouldn't know how much pressure Alfario was under at the beginning of this game if you checked in now.
Yeah,
in 108, he never died. He's got just as many items as Huni does at this point. And he was under constant pressure, but TL did such a good job defending all of these plays. Core JJ, Santorin, Jensen moving around the map, defending their teammates, playing to cover their opponent's win conditions. And as a result, TSM could never really close the door on TL.
And TL with 3 of these Cloud Drakes, I mean, Cloud Drake gets memed a lot, but when you have 3 of those stacking up ultimate CDR, that actually gives you a ton of extra power to go fishing with some of these abilities like the Varus ulti.
GA is gone.
We've already got a GA out of the picture. Okay, Death Sentence comes out just a little bit late. Power of Evil! Woo! Nearly sent straight down 6 feet deep. He survives with 100 HP. He's walking back to base. He's got a heal. Team Liquid continue to push now. No Baron on the map for 1 minute, so it's not like there's anything else to be interested in. They are just going for this push. That mid lane wave is about to collide. Tactical firing off the arrow. Won't quite hit the mark on it.
Man, I mean, Jensen is becoming such a terror now. He has so much CDR with his build, and then Triple Cloud, it's an 18-second cooldown on the LeBlanc ulti. Every time that is up, he can jump forward with a W, QRQ. That alone, at this point, with how much AP he has, is threatening the squishies, threatening to blow them up. He's got the death cap done. He's got 11 stacks on the Magi, and Jensen has been having such a good game here.
Yeah,
TSM have been hunting him, but they can't take him down.
It's 6-item LeBlanc with maximum ulti CDR, just constantly popping you over and over and over again. It creates this just war of attrition where, okay, once we're on the front lines, we've probably got about 20 seconds before someone's nearly dead. So we got to make those 20 seconds count, and it's so difficult to do.
And, on the TSM side, they're not out of it just yet. It is Baron respawning. They only lost the 1 hit off the last play, so we'll see, can they find the X factors here? That's what you're looking for. Power of Evil in trouble.
Oh, Power of Evil nearly dying there. Staying alive just barely yet again. And Sword Art, with no flash this time, has no way out. 4v5 again. Sword Art has died 7 times this game. All of Team Liquid put together has not died as much as Sword Art has. He has been the one trying to be the sacrifice, trying to make sure that nobody else on the team has to be the one who gets killed. But time and time again, TL's finding something, and it's always him. Jensen's unstoppable. Lost has not been where he needs to be in the second half of this game, and Jensen's just making money hand over fist because of it. Double kill for the Team Liquid mid laner. The Baron is easy. The team fights are free. Come on down. It is a Team Liquid party.
Jeds is just styling on him at this point. And they're making TSM look silly with these face checks because they absolutely dominated the vision around the Baron. TSM had no vision in that area. They knew that TL could be on it. They knew if they lost the Baron again, the game is likely over. With the base already cracked here, they face check, they try to prevent the Baron from going down, but TL punishes, they turn, they kill them off, they don't risk the 50-50, and now TSM in such a difficult position, they're going in.
Sword Art with a flash engage, but he's just gonna die instead. Huni tries to fight here on the front line, diving into the back, but his Guardian Angel is immediately popped. Now we'll come back to life in just a moment. However, that life quickly returns to yet another death. Tactical picking up the kill. There are only 2 alive right now on the side of TSM. It is the wave clear mages. Do they have what it takes? It doesn't quite look like it. Spica rejoining now. It'll still be another 25 seconds until Sword Art is back on the map. 2 different lanes now have those inhibitors destroyed. Team Liquid marching in. First Nexus turret, already gone. Second Nexus turret, nope, they're going after Spica and lost. Santorin needs a little bit more damage, but will not find it. It doesn't even matter. The Nexus is exposed. Spica gets hooked in. Jensen goes legendary. Team Liquid. Oh, they'll finally lose him there at the very end, but it's still 20-6. They dismantle Team